kind of annoying.
Like you're deep throating
Yo,
something.
check this out,
like-
guys. Check this out. You
Yeah, it
guys.
sounds like you're sucking dick.
Oh my God.
Wow, dude. Guess what, guys? We are live.
that was good
Here's
timing.
another episode
Son
of
of a
the
bitch.
next podcast. Oh my goodness, guys, can it get any better than that? The last few episodes, we have gone live and people didn't really realize it. And kind of like the off the air conversation came on the air. So guys, I don't know what to tell you. If you guys are
Give us a
entertained,
countdown, man. Like, all right, we're going live in 5, 4.
yeah, but I
3,
say it,
2.
but everybody talks over me, just like on the show. Everybody just talks over me.
You're
It's
like, we're
okay.
going live, and then you never let us know that you're actually going live.
Well,
You're just
I
like,
am
yeah,
your
we're going live.
I am your fearless leader,
say it.
man.
You say it under your breath, though, dude.
Yo,
You're just like,
Butcher,
oh, okay.
Butcher Man just said that intro gave him a seizure.
Yo, no, yo, did you see the intro where it starts flashing?
Oh,
Shoot. So, yo, Butcher, I hope you liked it, man. I hope that is a good thing for you, brother. But, guys, we are live again for another episode. As usual, guys, if you are entertained right now, hit that thumbs up button. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, definitely subscribe. Huge shout out to everybody who comes out and hangs out with us every Saturday night on the next podcast. Guys, we appreciate all the support. We have a fire show tonight, man. The topics, I feel like we're talking about certain things that haven't been talked about this week. A couple things that have, but I think we're going to have a fresh kind of like twist on them. It's going to be a great show, but we can't start that without the intros. And I'm going to go from the back of the line forward. So whoever was here last in the hangout can go first. So coming live from the 405, and you know he's just trying to talk to the intelligent gamers out there. K Mega.
I'm glad that Dark came out of the closet. I think it was about time. For all the heard, it is now. It's said and said. And you know what? Like I said, I don't have no problem with Tinky Winky.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So you know what I mean? Maybe when I go drop down in LA, man, maybe we
Just
can
wait,
go.
man. Just
We
wait.
can go
You're gonna
hang
get this
out,
work
get a
tonight.
couple of
You're
drinks,
gonna
and
get
then
this work.
then I can
Don't
tell
you wait.
that I can let you see the guy that you like, and then maybe try to talk to him for you, and just. I mean, because actually,
Oh,
you just admitted what you like to do. I was like shocked. I didn't think he was gonna
keep
come out
hiding
like
your
that.
sexuality there, brother.
Oh no! Don't try to
no.
change that up. Don't try to change that up, Jack. Anyway,
How are you gonna swing it like you're in like 6th grade, man? You can't change it.
Well, it's
swing it
because
around
he's
like that.
because he goes around dick swinging, dude. And
Well,
all
yeah, I
over
mean,
the
you're
place.
right about that.
Yeah,
You're
see, that's a
right.
compliment, brother.
Like, if you
Man,
noted
we gotta-
that.
No.
That's a-
I mean in the gay bars. I'm talking about
Oh,
the gay bars.
okay.
I mean, if that's what they want to do,
Guys,
that's what they
guys,
want to
we
do.
gotta
I'm not.
We gotta give Dark a little hood training, man. We gotta let him
gotta
know.
give it to him. That man's lost. But
We got-
regardless of that, look, like I said, here at Next Podcast, GRG, we have no problems with people that like to like
I have
the
no
same
idea what
sex.
GRG is.
That's fine.
I have no
I know,
idea what that
because
is.
you the last time you was on, it was a long time ago, and you'll never come back. But it's
Yeah,
all
you,
good.
yeah, you got a little tinky winky that night, didn't you, Mega?
I got drunk.
Little
I was talking about
tinky
Black
winky.
Love. I was talking about Delilah.
Yeah,
Oh,
you were
no,
talking
no,
about some
guys,
black love,
moving
right?
on. Moving on, yo. Next
yes,
on
please.
the list.
Please
Next
move
on the list.
Shit.
One of the most opinionated gaming YouTubers I have come across. His channel absolutely incredible. It's been on a little bit of a hiatus. I think he's bringing it back. He's also a fellow brother of the Xbox Nation. Please put your hands together for Knoxximus.
Also known as good old Knox, also known as good old Pony Boy, also known as the X-King. What's going on, everybody, man? Chilling,
Also known
kid.
as Knoxximus.
That's right.
Knoxximus Ponymus.
Mr. Yuckers.
That's right. Knoxximus Ponymus 75 yuckers. You want $200 for a fucking skin? Buy it. Shit. Nah, man, it's good to be here, man. I can't wait to get into these topics, man. Let's get it, fellas. And let's not ever have that conversation that just went down
Yeah,
between
dude, I might have to edit.
Goldblum
I might
ever
have
again.
to edit the show once.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, we're gonna oh man, yeah. Check this out. Next on the list, this man is always on call for gaming podcasts. People say he is the 6th man, but every Saturday he is a part of the starting lineup. Predator.
Yo, what's up, everybody? Thank y'all for having me. We all know that who the dick swingers are here and who like sucking dick. The podcast. Just for informational purposes, I am only a member of one podcast. That is the next podcast. Even though I appear on a lot, this is my home. So, all the little bullshit Twitter messages people send me about who I affiliate myself with. This is my show right here, not the other shows I've been on. So,
Nice.
I will appear on anybody's show. I'm down with everybody in the game community. I don't give a fuck about y'all's allegiance and how y'all feel about everybody else. But I'm gonna do me, and if you like what I say, you can follow me on whatever podcast I'm on. So
Yep.
put that out
But
there
guaranteed to be here every Saturday.
every Saturday,
Nice.
like clockwork.
Dude, as soon as I saw you might be a free agent, I had to come and scoop you up, man. You are intelligent, you are talented when it comes to this gaming podcast thing, man, and you are a natural fit right here every Saturday, brother.
And I appreciate you having me here. Thank you very much.
Nice. And going the opposite. No, I'm not gonna do that to him. He is my West Coast brother. The 6'3" man with the mullet himself. Taking a break from saving the world. Some people might know him as Dark Goldblum. Some people might know him as Angry Otter, but he is Dark Optimus.
What's up, everyone? Happy to be here. Happy to get into these topics, and let's get into it, man. I mean, I ain't got nothing to say to Mega tonight. I'm not gonna go in on him.
Though. I think you were trying. You're like, and then no, I'm good.
I was gonna, dude, but you know what? I realized he's not worth it. So
Oh shit!
Damn, man, that's like cutthroat right there.
He said you weren't worth
He
shit.
said you worthless, Mega. Like,
You weren't worth the
know.
tub of lotion.
Damn, yo, Pred is steadily becoming like the instigator on the show.
I know. Fred always instigates shit. He's always like, "Suck dick, motherfucker." Like, oh shit, what? Who said that?
Wow.
All right, well,
I mean,
now
you said it again. Damn, like, bro.
guys, we got to get on with the show here.
You gotta make some phone calls.
We are
and
going to
hit
end the
that
show
black
at
book
9
or
o'clock
something.
tonight, people. I absolutely promise we're going to be right around that 9 o'clock that 9 o'clock time to end the show. So, guys, if you're going to share the show out, definitely share it now. Let's get a lot of people in here talking about these topics. And first, we're going to start with EA and Anthem. And the reason why first off, I thought we were done talking about Anthem. I thought everything that could be said has been said.
You was hoping.
I thought, man, but dude, it's like the you get indigestion from one of those baseball park hot dogs, man. It just keeps coming back. It keeps coming back. And now with the shareholders kind of like meeting, their little telephone call, they get together with people who own shares in EA. It has come out that EA does believe in Anthem, will keep supporting BioWare on making the content that they had promised with this game. So, in terms of my fears of EA chopping up the dev studio and everything like that, because you can't lie to your shareholders, man. That is one thing in business you just absolutely do not do. It seems like they are gonna roll with the ship, man. They're gonna try to write it. They're gonna go in. They're gonna make content. I'm excited about this. So, let's go to Dark. Dark, what do you think about this, man? EA had their shareholders meeting. Stated that they believe in Anthem. They believe in BioWare, and they're not gonna stop. They're not gonna shut it down. They're not gonna chop up the team, but they are gonna support it, man. How do you feel?
That's good. I mean, it sounds like what they're doing is not going to get rid of BioWare. So, I mean, that's a good thing. I think BioWare still has some fuel left in the tank to make a good game. I didn't see it so much. I mean, I saw the potential in Anthem, and there's a lot of potential still there. Will I go back to that game? Probably not. I mean, it's just not my style of looter shooter that I like. I like hearing that they're gonna focus on bringing this game to a more sustainable type of game, type of shooter and stuff like that.
More like a complete game, basically.
Right, exactly. And they really haven't I mean, they put out their roadmap and then they delayed their roadmap, and I think a lot of it has to do with just they need more time to do it. And I think it sucks, because I mean the game's already out, and it sucks for a lot of the people who bought the game. But if they're gonna go back to the drawing board and kind of revamp what they had their roadmap as, good, awesome. Just put it in there. We'll see what happens. I mean, who knows? They might bring me back. I don't know. It might happen. You just never know.
They will. They will.
They will. I mean, Destiny did it. I mean, if Destiny can do it, I'm sure they can do it.
Destiny will do it again too. I know it.
Destiny's doing it right now with Outbreak Prime.
Oh yeah.
I haven't tried that out yet, but I mean, I heard it's pretty.
Well,
decent.
I got the gameplay where I got the weapon, but I since you see right now I am the winner from last week. You won't see my new gameplay this week. You're gonna have to wait until next week to see that I got it, man.
Yeah, and I think the whole, if they would have shut down BioWare, I think a lot of people would have been upset about that anyways. I mean, anytime a studio shuts down, people are upset about it. I mean, even when Visceral was shut down, we were really upset about it. I mean, because Visceral did a lot of some good games. I mean, yeah, granted, Battlefield Hardline wasn't that good, but I mean, it
Mega,
had
get him, Mega.
potential. It had potential to be good. It had its moments of actually being a good game, but I think them stepping away and saying, what, we're not gonna close down BioWare, and I'm glad that they BioWare announced Dragon Age, because maybe this did help them to decide not to close down.
You think that
BioWare.
saved their ass right there?
I doubt it. I doubt that that's what the case was, because I don't think BioWare was just afraid that they were gonna get closed down.
All right, brother. Before I move on to the next person, a couple shout outs real quick. First off, I want to give a shout out to Oh Snap It's Mel, who is checking out the show while at work. So she's probably burning cookies right now. Huge shout out to So Shady, who is in an elevated state in the chat right now. Happy 420 to you, even though it's not 420, but you know what I'm saying. EDM Gamer 8K, it is his birthday, I believe. So happy birthday, EDM. And of course, my best friend, Sleepy Goblin, is in the chat. What is going on, brother? Knox, what do you think about this, man? Are you happy that they are deciding that they are gonna continue to build this game and they're not just gonna kind of leave it on the side of I-95, and just let it get ravaged, man?
All right. I'm not gonna say I'm sitting here and I'm happy, because this is what we should have had. Relieved that they are actually confirming that they're going to continue with the game and give us what they owe.
Me
because
too, bro.
they really have no choice, man. They owe it. If not, bro,
they have a choice.
We could do a class action lawsuit then, the gaming community, because they cheated the consumer. That's an unfinished game. It just really is. You know what I mean? So they owe it to their customers to complete this game, see it all the way through, because it has potential to be a freaking awesome game, man. I love playing it, like just the way that it feels, the environment, it has a lot to like. I just wanted that, that BioWare magic that they so often speak about, right? That's been the whole thing. Oh man, that BioWare magic. Well, shit, the trick got fucked up this time around. But
yeah. That magic fizzled, brother.
yeah. I guess there's only but so much, right? There's only but so much magic dust you can sprinkle on shit. But no, man, I'm glad to see that they're gonna stick with it. I'll definitely come back to it. I think a lot of people will, because people want to see that game at its maximum potential. You know what I'm saying? And if they deliver that, people will go back. Dark will go back. He's bullshit.
Dark will be back.
Yeah. You don't know that, Knox. You don't know that.
He'll go back.
Dark is the father, by the way.
But yeah, like I'm saying, I don't think there's anything that anybody should be like, all right, nah, man. Yeah, good. You owe it to us. It's not.
I'm
Hey, I'm proud of you, EA. Nah.
I mean,
I don't
like
know
what
if
you
it
said.
sounded like I was trying to praise him, but
No,
it
no, no.
really
I'm not. I'm
wasn't.
not. I don't mean you. I wasn't.
Damn,
I
Dark
wasn't.
always takes things so
I know.
personally.
I
Like,
wasn't
he
I
thinks
know.
about
Well,
me.
when it comes to Knox, it's that New York accent that I'm like, I don't know, man. I don't know about you sometimes.
Man, I wasn't. I wasn't alluding to anything,
Oh,
brother.
guys, I gotta pay those bills. Yo, huge shout out to Mr. Midlife Crisis, aka Butcher Van, hitting up that super chat, showing that super chat love, saying, "I love this show, one of my faves every week, brother. Thank you so much for supporting us, hanging out with us, and hear us, just basically talk about games for a couple hours every Saturday, man. I really, really do appreciate it." Um, Yo, Pred, I know you like to look at the business side of gaming. It's kind of like it's got to be your niche, man, because you do it more than I've seen. Kind of like any other YouTuber or any other gamer out there, like on social media and stuff. So, what do you think about this move? First off, did it surprise you that they said that they're going to support it? Because you know EA's track record, man. What do you think?
Did you just call me the Black Michael Pachter?
No, no. See, you're actually right a lot of the time. So
Shit.
you're automatically better than Pachter, man. I'm letting you know that now.
Okay, so if you listen to their earnings call, which I know no one did, like they before Anthem came out, they had basically said, this is, where we had a lot of expectations for this game, and they faltered, right? You ever heard like Mike Tyson, like that quote he has, where like everybody has a plan, so they get punched. Like they had a plan and they got punched, and it just didn't work out the way they wanted it to, so they had to go back to the drawing board. And even now, going to their investors and saying we're going to see this through, I still think that's just the plan, and I still think that there's a lot of there's a lot of ways they could fuck this up. So I believe that they're going to try to do something. They're going to try to come forward and try and make the game right. But if they're going to have that that EA longevity, not EA, I'm sorry, that Ubisoft longevity, where they stick through this shit, like like Ghost Recon, like Rainbow Six, where they continuously have content. But the thing is, Ubisoft had a plan. EA doesn't have one anymore. They have to go back to the drawing board. So like you'll see my footage later of the Ghost Recon stuff. Like that, everything they did with that game was scripted, right? Like that
Yeah,
whole
leading up to
deal.
the next Ghost Recon, right?
Yeah, exactly. So they knew what they were going to do with that game before it came out, and as they continued throughout the years, like that game is what 2 years old, and they're still putting DLC out for it, like little updates and stuff, free updates at that. So Anthem didn't have that. I think in the beginning when I first played that game, I remember talking about it on the show, and I said it's built up basically to have you buy shit within the game, like everything, all the skins, all the dance moves, all those stupid shit like that. Like people spend money on. Like it was built for that. Like, and I don't know if that's a good business, you know, plan going forward with a lot of companies. Like, if you're not going to come out with a complete game, then what are you doing, right? Like if you're expecting to finish the game based off of our money that we spend, like you're basically saying like we need you to help us. Like you're making an incomplete game and you're expecting people to stick around for a game as a service when you have no content in there, but we're supposed to buy shit. It just seems like it's backwards to me. Like they could have put a lot more in this game. It's a beautiful game. I loved it when I played it. I played it on PC and Xbox, right? So I know I loved the game. It was a great game. It was just empty. And for them to scrap their road plan, their road mark, whatever they're going to do,
Roadmap.
like for roadmap, sorry, for them to scrap that, to go back to the drawing board, let you know that they probably think they made a mistake the way they released the game. And I said it last podcast, I think maybe 2 weeks ago, like I could see this game going to Game Pass really soon. I can see this game going free to play at some point in time. If this next update doesn't do what they're hoping it would do, I could see that happening easily. So to the investors, yeah, they're going to back it, but how much? You know what I'm saying? Like, are we gonna still be playing this game? Are they still having updates for this game in a year and a half from now? Because, like, I know that was everyone's concern with the way they kind of did Mass Effect. It's kind of said, okay, we're done. We're moving on to Anthem, right? And now they're kind of saying, we kind of heard that rumor. We're done. We're moving on to Dragon Age. And they kind of came out and they, to me, I think it sounds to me like they're just kind of backtracking a little bit. because they've said that before. And now they're saying it again, and they're backtracking, saying like, we really didn't mean it that way. We're still going to support the game. So it's like a press release to me.
So basically, Pred, you're not sure if they're actually gonna man up and do what they gotta do in order
I
to
think
get
they're
this
going to
game.
come out with another update because they like Knox was saying, like that's a class action lawsuit. I don't think it'll get that far, but like there's obviously concerns there, right? Because they kind of came out and said, we're moving these people over to work on Dragon Age. And then they came back and kind of retracted it a little bit. So I think there's plans there for Anthem because they still want to try and recoup something from it and try and it's a new franchise, right? So if it sucks now and they kill it off, if they decide to come out with Anthem 2, no one's gonna buy that shit.
Yeah.
The people will be like, okay, no, we're not fucking with that anymore.
People they'll be kind of sketchy about getting anything through EA because if it's a rocky launch, then they're not necessarily going to support it all the way through.
Exactly. And I kind of joked, I think I don't know if it was on this podcast or maybe
Dude,
on
you
Twitter.
do so many now, you can't even remember, brother.
Yeah, right. I don't know where I'm saying shit at, but like I kind of joked when I saw that EA Access was coming to PlayStation, and I was like, yeah, they're trying to recoup that Anthem money, and I could see them doing that, like oh fuck, man, this game flopped. A lot of people bought it, but like it didn't do what it was projected to do. So like they got to make up some money somewhere, and they had that little thing in their back pocket. Well, we can try and we can go back to PlayStation, try to put EA Access on there, even though we said we wouldn't do that. We'll go back.
Pred, I think it's interesting what you said about possibly making it a free to play because you also stated that it's basically kind of like a Trojan horse for microtransactions. The game is basically a Trojan horse and wants you to spend money on cosmetics and stuff like that. Now, basically, there's a lot of companies using that free to play in order.
Doing it.
Yeah, and they're successful at it. Business wise, they're making a ton of money.
With Anthem though, if they do some shit like that, bro, the community will go insane, dog. Because what about the people that paid for it?
They'll give you $60.
They give you 60 yuccas and skins.
That's them keeping the money. That's like Sony with the wallet. Oh, I gave you a refund. I put it back in the wallet. No,
they're keeping it within house.
Yeah, you're just holding my guap.
Who did that recently? Wasn't there a game that went free to play recently that did that? There were. I'm
not sure.
Fuck, I don't know what it was. If anyone in chat knows what I'm talking about, there was a game that we paid for and then it ended up going free to play later. I don't know what it was.
I'm looking at the chat right now to see.
Valve did that.
Space Lords.
I know Valve did it.
Space Lords did it.
Nobody didn't care about Space Lords.
Yeah, I was like, "What Space Lords?"
It was called something else before.
It was Raiders of the Broken Planet or whatever it was called.
But it's been done before, so just, I know it has. But
well, I mean, Fortnite did it, so I mean, they changed their model to free to play after a year. So,
and I would think like not agreeing with the concept, but for Anthem, I could honestly see them doing that. I could see it being more profitable that way. For them, they can actually recoup. They sell their skins, maybe not as fucking expensive as they are, but like and make. And build the game up a little bit more. So
somebody said lawbreakers.
Wow.
And that even saved lawbreakers.
The two people playing it.
Right.
But I mean, I can see that business model working with this game better than what it's going. I mean, like, who's going to buy that game right now? Like I said, it'd be in the access soon.
I don't think anybody's buying it right now. Like down the line, I feel like they're going to work. If they're going to support it, and it looks like they're saying they're going to work on it, and I believe like in 2020 when people are talking about the next gen hardware, and how these games they're developed to scale up and down, according to hardware or whatnot. I think they'll do kind of like a soft relaunch of the game with kind of like everything intact, everything that we thought was going to be in there from the beginning. That's the only way I see them like really doing this, letting kind of like the smoke die down, letting people get into the new Star Wars that's under EA's umbrella, all that good stuff, and then in 2020 come back with kind of like a soft relaunch of the game. And if you have the game, you're going to get all this stuff. You're going to be able to get in and play, and it's going to actually have that end game content that people thought the game was going to have to begin with.
Well, I want to back up real quick. This is how I knew that something was wrong with this game before I even played. Well, actually, when I was playing the alpha and stuff like that, but like there was no custom, like not custom. What's the word I'm looking for? There wasn't a uh like a, I won't say custom game. Jesus, I'm lost for words right now. Like
I'm trying. I'm trying to help you out. I have no
I'm trying
idea
to
where you're
think right
going,
now.
man.
There wasn't like a collector's edition. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
If you ever noticed that, like I asked a couple of times about it if they were going to do one. They're like, this is a, you know, in their eyes, they're trying to market this game and 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 sell it and, you know, make it like their next big franchise. But there was no collector's edition for this game, like a, you know, like a figurine or anything like that. Like that game would have been perfect for that because Boom would have been all over that shit. But like, it wasn't there. Like there was none whatsoever for this game. I was kind of like, that's weird. For them to go through their earnings call and discuss how they really want to make this game like big, and then for them to not come up with a collector's edition, that felt a little weird to me. And I kind of peeped on that in the beginning. And then even when I played the alpha, I kind of felt like the game was empty and um, they promised stuff was coming, but even after playing it for the first month, nothing really ever came. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't see myself getting back into this game, even if they come out with the content
I don't know
in
if
September,
it gets
October.
those bright shiny graphics with the new hardware and stuff. You might be back in there, man. I'm just saying
I
that's the only way I think it's gonna work. It's the only way. But yo, K Mega man, what do you think about this in terms of they're actually gonna support it? We know when it comes to EA's history, they are quick to be like, you know what, this studio is done, chop it up and move on. Are you excited that they are going to continue supporting Anthem? Do you think? Are you skeptical like Predator though,
No, I think there's a lot of overreaction on the panel tonight.
man?
Um, I'm just being
Damn,
realistic.
casting judgment, man.
No, I said I think that you guys are being overreactive. I mean, overreacting a little bit about it, but that's everybody's opinion. I'm giving mine. That's just how I feel. It's more of the thing to me. It's the same thing about Battlefield. You know, going back to when Otter brought up about hardline, hardline, it still got a lot of support, but it was too long, and Visceral Games was already pretty much
I'm
dead in the
surprised
water. This is a
you let Otter's comment slide,
I'm
man.
letting everybody have their opinion on this because this is one of those things. You know, when I get passionate about something, I'm passionate about it, and
Yeah.
that's it. Everybody has their opinions about it. To me, it's one of those things. I look at this just like with Battlefield 5. Like it just it's just a pile on to the game. And I got my money's worth. I put in over 90 hours into that game, and I beat the story. I enjoyed it. There when I went back and I played it just a couple of weeks ago. There was something. There was a whole new stronghold there. Now, is there issues with the game, and there's some things that need to be fixed? Absolutely, the game wasn't perfect at all. Like there was a lot of drop the ball moments with the game, but for the actual game, for it to be like it's just dead, nobody will ever go back to it or play it. All I can just tell you is Division and Rainbow Six. That's just one of these things. I think the blueprint is where, like, I do agree with Fred on this, is that they may have had one thought process on where they wanted to go with it, and then somebody said something else, and then it went, and then that failed. Maybe there was some kind of division amongst maybe the devs and the publishers on that aspect, and with the way that the cosmetics and stuff is and how they charge and stuff like that. I agree with that. That was a mistake. But I never doubted that this game was going to just be dead in the water. That you could tell graphically, the way that the game plays, everything that was in voice acting, all of that. That game is worth a lot of money, and for them to just say no, we're done with it, they would lose a lot of loot. And the investors that went behind that game, there would be heads rolling. So that game is not going to get killed.
Well,
I
hold
just
on.
it's going
When
to be
when
one
you
of those.
say my bad, but well, first off, yo, huge shout out to Ricardo Willits hitting up that super chat. Thank you for the support, brother. He's saying what up to the panel. So what is up,
What up,
Ricardo?
man?
Yeah,
What up? What up?
nice. But when you talk about how much money was spent on the game,
Mhm.
I believe a lot of money was spent on Andromeda too, and they cut that out. I'm
That
just
was
saying.
that was a B team though. That's I think that a lot, like, again, a lot of overreaction, because this isn't a B team that worked on Anthem. This was the A team. And if anything, those developers do not want their names to be tainted, especially if they're going to be working on other games. Because let's just say that they hypothetically just go ahead and close shop on Anthem, and then they bring Dragon Age. That stigma is still going to be with BioWare. That's not going to change, even though that there'll be people that will still go and buy that game, but that stench will still be there. They'll still have that scarlet letter. There's no way that they're going to let their baby go down like that. And I'm pretty sure even if the EA investors, publishers, or whatever was saying, well, we might just well count our losses and just move on, I guarantee you that those BioWare developers was like, no, we have something to prove here. There's a lot of people that's talking bad upon our name, and therefore we're going to bring the content that the fans has been asking for and for what this game deserves. Because when everybody plays it, there's something about that game they like. It may not be the amount of content that they wanted and things like that. They may not have gave it the chance that me and others out there that's put in the time to beat the game, but that game has a lot of potential. If there's not there, even if the biggest hater and the Destiny supporter and Division supporter, everybody will tell you that game has potential. So why close shop on a game that has potential? Because you know exactly what these other devs would do out there, Ubisoft or maybe Sony or somebody else. They would go in there and they'll make a game that's similar like that and then make a killing off of it. So EA has a hard knock game. Just do exactly what all these other what you've seen with Rainbow Six and what you've seen with the Division and with Wildlands and even with because it's a lot of Ubisoft games that's done this. What's the game? The game where you use the swords and you got the different characters.
For Honor.
Yeah, For Honor. Every time that you go and you play those games apart, everybody feels that there's something missing. But when you go back now, you're like, oh my God, look at all this content. Look at all this other stuff that they're doing. EA can still do that. And if they have a 2-year plan like they do with Battlefield, you see nobody's talking bad about Battlefield 5 no more.
You know, I feel like the more and more that games do this, though, at the end of the day, of course, you know, Rainbow Six had a nice bounce back. There was a couple games that had a nice bounce back, but even with games like For Honor, like it has a steady amount of active users, but I feel like if they had done everything from the beginning, there would be a lot more people playing that game for a lot longer.
Maybe, but I mean, but that's with all types of games, though. Bot. I mean, there's many games that's been pumping out this especially this last year. Yeah, it's been ridiculous, and everybody's been jumping to the next thing. The only thing that really the gamer fans can actually kind of sink their teeth into is a single player experience. Jump on that and then jump to the next single player experience. For games that like I enjoy, for those multiplayer games like that, hell, we don't have enough time in the week. You see what I'm saying? Because so I'm actually kind of cool with Anthem not having all this content right now, and they can bring it later because Rage comes out. You got other games come out here that's been out and shit. I'm like, all right, cool. I'm not tripping.
You can't, but the game can't be broken. There's a difference. You know what I mean? Like
this isn't the first, and this is damn sure not going to be the last fucking game.
I understand.
You make this. You make when we every week about
when we become complacent, Mega. When we become complacent with those practices, they never gonna fix
this from gamers every damn week about a certain game. Every week.
So what does that say? What does that say? That's a terrible practice, and it should not.
I'm not disagreeing.
It shouldn't be condoned.
I'm not disagreeing with that, but stones just can't be cast on one game, and then the other game that you may love, you keep silent about. That's the shit that I'm not agreeing with.
All right, I don't know who's doing that. I don't know where that's happening. I'm pretty sure guys do it. I don't think anybody on this panel's doing that. I certainly ain't.
But I'm saying also, and Anthem is, and look, this is the thing. Anthem is not broke. It's fixed. It was broke when it launched. But
they launched. Since it launched, there's like 700 patches that already went into it. It was broke.
How many patches came on the game that we're looking at your gameplay, Knox?
Yeah, there were, but there was still enough there. And even with that, I said they shouldn't be releasing games that require that much maintenance.
This is something that I said a long time ago, is that once publishers really started getting there and start really dictating how these games are going to be made, we were going to have these type of problems, and how more technologically advanced that they're going to be with involving the internet and shit like that, that we're going to have those problems. That's just the reality now. If you know what I'm saying, Anthem got delayed, and yes,
Anthem was
said the
developer laziness.
It came out at the end of this year.
That shit was developer laziness. It's already come out. You know what I'm saying? The door was open on that. The lid's been blown off on what BioWare sat on their hands on that one.
This isn't only BioWare though. This is
I understand it, but we're talking about BioWare right now. We're talking about Anthem now. So they sat on their hands on this.
About BioWare. It's not about EA. It's about all these other games because there's been plenty other games that we played.
It's all of them. Ubisoft is very guilty of doing shit like that. What I'm saying is that practice has to cease.
Guys,
Microsoft
check this out. Yo, Mega.
EA, all these games. Look. I'm not done yet. Fuck that. This is you got me started. You got me ready. This is the thing. Microsoft fucked up when they didn't have the multiplayer ready for Crackdown. That was a mistake. Sony, when they brought out Days Gone, broken, needed a patch. Yep. That should have. That's a single player game. To me, that's almost even worse because there ain't no online fucking play on that game. But it's still, regardless, I think they got it fixed though, don't they? Do they have it fixed yet?
For the most part.
Okay, so they got it fixed.
I mean, for the most part, they had it fixed in day one. But still, like I said,
they're all responsible for hell. My favorite game for the damn generation, The Witcher, was broken.
I mean, see, with that one, I wouldn't say it was.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
It had issues, but there was
a game of the generation, and it still came out broken like a motherfucker.
I don't know.
You know that.
I don't know. I think that was it's a little different with that because I think that was just like an overcomplicated. It was an overcomplicated system that people didn't want to invest the time in and they streamlined it, and then they
do that.
And then they fixed some of the.
Guys, check this out. Yo, check this out. Chris Hughes in the chat.
It's a broken game.
Brother, Chris Hughes Sr. in the chat. I think he said it, and I will definitely agree with this. Too many broken games are being released and fixed later. This is a trend that it's a negative trend. It's something I know we don't want to deal with moving into like the next series of hardware.
They only do it because we continue to support
it. That is true.
If we don't support it, they'll stop. It's almost like if these companies don't even have quality control anymore. They're putting these things out of the door like if they're not even being, tested. Internal testing too. I'm not talking about alphas or betas. You know what I mean? Right. That shit is unacceptable, man. That wasn't happening back in the 16-bit days. If a game was terrible, it was just terrible. But shit wasn't coming out, bro.
But that's the whole thing about this, though. I mean, I think we can even look at different, everything that's out that has some kind of technology, except for the most part, cars. But even though you look at cars and shit, I mean, look at the shit with the airplane that had the new device off the Boeing, and it killed people. You know what I'm saying? When you put these type of new device, anything that's out there that's new, that's kind of coming out there, and when these investors go out and force this shit out there to the public, these are the type of things that we're getting. I'm not saying that Anthem shouldn't get ridiculed. I'm not saying that. All I'm saying is that let's not make it a just beat down EA fest or in BioWare fest when there's been plenty of games that other gamers out here enjoy and love that's had that same thing. Dead or Alive 6, broken. I mean, shit, Tekken, when it came out, broken. There has been so many games out there that's been broken, and I agree that the practices need to change, but what you think let's say when Final Fantasy VII Remake comes and that shit comes broken, you think that those people are going to say anything like this? No. They're only going to say it to games that they don't like. If we want to keep that energy, we do it with every fucking game out there, not just one particular one.
You're right. That just starts with us. It does.
Dude, even down to a game like Sea of Thieves that I really like. I will say, like I stated before, if they came out with the game with all the content that they have from the anniversary update, if they came out with that game when it released, there would have been a lot more people playing it for a lot longer. Now it's getting a sort of a renaissance with people going back in and playing it and enjoying it now. But because it came out bare bones in terms of content, and that's one thing. That's the biggest thing when it comes to Anthem. Yes, Anthem came out bare bones.
Yes,
all right?
I understand that these games are, They're very technically complex nowadays, and things can slip between the cracks. I get that. That could require a little maintenance here and there. That is cool. That's fine. You know what I'm saying? Because no one is perfect. But when you're just putting out a product blatantly unfinished, blatantly incomplete, that shit is unacceptable, man. It doesn't matter who does it. If it's Microsoft, if it's EA, if it's Ubisoft.
That's what I'm saying. It's plenty of games. Look,
I know, but I'm just putting it out there. Since Anthem was the game on the table, that's why they're getting the brunt of this right now. It's not. I'm not singling them out.
That's my point of it, and I'm listening, and that's the thing to why I'm saying I think that there's an overreaction because everybody knows if a game brings out content that's worthy and they spent money on that game or haven't traded it in or whatever, then they're going to go back to it. That's the one benefit.
Well, people who bought it digitally can't trade it in, man.
And that's another thing. And when you buy it and when you get a game digitally, that's the one benefit. And that's why these publishers know that. That's why they push these games out there. And like I said, look, we do think we can speak for our wallets. We can sit there and we can wait until we find out that there's patches. Mm-hmm. We can listen to other people and to YouTubers or to reviewers or whatever that you want to and say, hey, look, that game is broken. I would wait. And then when they have to drop that price to get people's attention and then put the patch on there, then maybe these publishers will start working and saying, look, maybe we need to not be so quick on dropping these games out at this point in time. So I like I said, I'm not disagreeing with what the people are asking for Anthem. I'm saying for me, I put in a lot, I put in a lot of hours into the game. I enjoyed it that much, but but to say that it's going to turn to a free to play and this and that, I totally disagree because that Scarlet Letter is going to still stay on BioWare, and they do have a bad track record, quote unquote. Even Battlefield 5 was fine. It started off broken, but it's fine now. But a lot of people's bitching because of the fact of a woman on the cover, and then. And then of course Andromeda, which was broken and bad, and it just didn't live up to what we knew as Mass Effect. So they would have
Battlefield 5. It wasn't the cover, dude. It was actually them coming out and saying, if you don't like it, don't buy it. That's what a lot of people.
And you would get mad about that because I mean that's a fact. If you don't like it,
I'm not saying.
Well, they didn't. But see, the thing is, they didn't buy it.
Exactly.
You gave them the option. They didn't buy it. You can't get mad. You want to talk shit? You gonna say? I tell you I don't like something, or I make a suggestion. You tell me if you don't like it, don't buy it. Well, fuck off. Then I'm not gonna buy it.
Yeah.
Hey, Mega, keep in mind those franchises you named are established franchises too. Anthem's a brand new franchise.
And which for all, but it has a established company, established developer.
This is the same developer that dropped one of their established franchises in Mass Effect. So I'm not disagreeing with you. Hold on, I'm not disagreeing with you. And to Shinso in chat, like I never spread hate about the game. I spread truth about the game. Like the game is empty. There's nothing to do in the game, and now
he said he's not talking about you hating, bro.
I don't know. He said that now, but earlier he was saying, "Why am I hating the game?" Like I got 100+ hours in the game on PC and Xbox. Like I didn't say I hated the game. I just said after I got done with the game,
this panel went in on Anthem. We can honestly say that.
Look, I never said anybody on this panel was fucking hating. I said for the people out there that's hating on the game. I said I think people are. I think what I said was that I think that this panel is overreacting. That's
dude. I'm actually with the news, Mega. With the news, I'm actually relieved at this meeting that they said they are going to continue to support it. Because you remember, talking about it a couple weeks back, I'm like, EA and their practices. I'm afraid that they're gonna chop up BioWare and they're just gonna move on. And that is a valid thing to be concerned about when it comes to Electronic Arts, man. It is.
No, I'm not. Like I said, I'm not disputing people that's deciding with their wallets or decided they're not going to go to the game. That's their business. That's on them. I'm saying, but I think it's an overreaction that people are saying that this game is completely dead in the water. We said this about The Division. We said this about all these other games that I've mentioned. And to me, it's just they're not going to let that game go when you have these developers that's getting their name tainted. and all this, because then what's going to happen next? You're going to have people that's going to say the same things about Star Wars. Trust me, if they shut down Anthem, that's a death wish for Star Wars.
I wouldn't say for Star Wars because Respawn is behind it, but Dragon Age, any of the I would say like bigger kind of like multiplayer co-op titles and
Really,
stuff like that in
Respawn's
the
game
future.
didn't sell either, though, bot.
Huh?
Respawn's game, Titanfall 2 didn't sell.
But
Yeah,
that doesn't
no,
mean
but-
it wasn't a quality
but they're-
product.
they're
though.
looked at-
It was an excellent
it-
game.
Hold on,
sell?
Knox. Yo, they're looked at as the Rebel right now. They're not using the Frostbite engine. I believe they're using Unreal. They're looked at as the developers that don't care. They're going to make the game that they want to make the game with. And game reviewers, critics, and hardcore gamers out there, that's the way they're looking at Respawn with Star Wars right now, man.
You right about that, Bob. But also, Mega, remember they sandwiched Titanfall 2 between two killer ass games.
I know.
So they contributed a lot to that. The game itself is a very high. It's an awesome game. It's a quality game. It was done well. I can't say nothing bad about it.
Dude, I didn't think this topic was going to be this long.
It was quality
multiplayer.
The multiplayer was fucked up.
Yeah, multiplayer on part 1 was better, but it wasn't terrible. It was good. It was
Call
a
of
good
Duty.
game.
It was Call of
Yeah,
Duty.
it was Call of Duty. Yeah, they was trying to make it more casual.
What I'm saying is the product doesn't reflect in sales what it's actually worth. You know what I'm saying? Because of EA's fucking bad strategy, the way they put the game out. That's their fault. For doing that. The game would have been much more successful had they used a different window to launch the game in. But
guys,
yeah.
I it was funny when I came up with the topic. I was like, man, I can't believe we're talking about Anthem again. But I wanted to put it out there about this meeting, and I did not think that this topic was gonna turn into that. Yo, everybody in the chat right now, if you are entertained, you know what you need to do. Slap that thumbs up button. Share this out on Twitter, on Facebook, wherever you go to talk about games, because I have a feeling it's just going to get better from here. Guys, let's move on and let's talk about the United States government. A senator, I believe from Utah, presented a bill on the floor of Congress, right? And the bill, they want to ban randomized loot boxes in video games because they want to protect the children in terms of gambling. Now, with this bill, they used a lot of kind of like vague wording, the way that they do over in Washington, to kind of leave doors open to go over here and go over there. They were talking about games like Candy Crush, the smaller mobile games, stuff like that, but they're leaving the door open to go into, console gaming, PC gaming as well in the United States, and basically take out the randomized loot boxes. And dude, as soon as I saw this, I thought about this show, the panel on here, and I want to hear kind of like thoughts and opinions. So I'm gonna go to Predator first. Now, Pred, United States trying to get in there, trying to control. This is what I look at it. They're trying to get in there and start controlling the video game industry, and I've stated they've been trying to do this since the 90s. All right. What do you think about this bill? Do you think it's something that should be passed? Have you looked into what they're trying to do with it? I don't know if they passed it, actually. I haven't gotten an update yet. But what are your thoughts, brother?
I don't really pay that much attention to this kind of stuff. The government's going to do what the government does. If they do decide to get involved in gaming and the whole loot box thing, I can see the positives and the negatives within it. I tell this story all the time about my stepson coming in here begging for V-Bucks like it's crack, so but kids are hooked on this shit. This is what they do. They play games, they want to buy shit, they want to buy skins and stuff like that, and to kind of be popular, and have the best looking character or get the stuff that they want. As far as the government getting involved in it, I don't think they need to get as in depth with it as they are trying to do. I can see a little bit of regulation involved in it where, like mandate, like, kids under 18 having to get, permission from parents, or like a.
Well, you have that on the Xbox. You can put the kids down as family members, and anytime they try to make a microtransaction or a purchase, you actually have to approve it.
Yeah. And that aspect of it, if they make that across the board with not just Microsoft but with every game, I'm okay with that. What I don't want them doing is coming here and saying, okay, this game is too gory. Like some of these other countries do this. This game can't release in this country because it's too gory, or we can't release this game here because I really don't see America doing something like that. But it's like, I can see them kind of overstepping their boundaries a bit, as the government typically does, and
Oh
doing some
yeah.
things that they don't necessarily need to get involved in.
Mhm.
Um, um, the loot crate thing, and I know someone else is going to say this too. It's a choice. Like if you want to buy something, you buy it.
Well,
If you don't want to buy it, then you don't have to. It's just, it's not. I can see the gambling aspect, but I still don't classify this as gambling. Like we talked last night on the show, and I was like, it's one thing if you know what you're buying. It's another thing if it's a crapshoot. Like
like Overwatch.
yeah, like here's a box. You have no idea what's in it, but it's $20, and you might get a chance to get a gold item, and that gold item ends up being like a pair of shoes. So those kids are gonna be like, man, I need to do this again. Let me get another $20. And then, I need to get this jacket. Like I would rather have the approach where like, look, if you want to buy this jacket for $4.99, go buy this jacket for $4.99. We're not gonna we'll put it in a
well,
box.
well,
Is a,
Pred,
is a,
that's
is
the
a
Fortnite thing. So under this bill, even if this bill is passed, your kid coming up and kind of like begging for V bucks and stuff is still going to be legitimate because he's using it to buy specific things. All
Mhm.
right, so that's not even covered by this bill. It's the randomized loot boxes, like the treasure chests in the crypt or something like that. If you're able to like spend money in order to do that, or the best. I think the best kind of like example is Overwatch because you can spend money and get loot crates that you have no idea what's going to come out of them. It can be
But at the end
absolute
of the day,
garbage.
you can actually spend money on the thing you want. And so like the whole loot crate thing, like I've never agreed with it. I understand why it's there. It helps fund games going forward. But like, wouldn't it just be easier to say, hey, look, you can have both. You can have this random crapshoot that will give you something you don't have already, or you can just buy what you want for this price. Do both.
Mm. Now,
Like
see,
that way you can kind of like, okay, I can play this little loot crate game and I can spend $5 and get this random draw, and I might get the outfit that I'm looking for, or I can just go out and spend $5 and just buy it. Like, give us that option instead of just saying, give us $20 and we'll give you something. You don't know what it's gonna be, but we'll give you something.
you
And,
know,
and I think that's why the government wants to step in. And I think that kind of regulation would work. Like, if you're going to, the government needs to come and say, look, if you're going to do this, you need to outline specifically what they're going to get and not make it a random drop.
I got
That's
you.
all. That's all they gotta do, bro. Remove the game of chance, and we're good. Just make it a straight up barter. Here's a shirt. It costs $5. You want it, take it or leave it. That way, you know what you're getting. That's a sale now. It's no longer gambling.
Yeah, this isn't the fucking Price is Right. You go and spin the wheel and shit like, what's behind door number 1, 2, and 3. You
Yeah,
don't do
you
that when
get
you
Well,
buy a
Knox,
car,
even
fucking
Destiny
fruit.
2,
exactly.
has the same thing. If you buy kind of like whatever seasonal engram is out, you know what I'm saying?
I
Because
mean,
you're
like,
buying a random
Yeah, but you
engram.
can't. But you can buy the same thing.
Yeah,
they
but I'm not talking about the part where you can buy something specific. It's that randomized part
No,
that they're
that's
going
yeah,
after.
and that's what I'm saying. That's all gaming companies have to do is remove that aspect to keep them out. We just don't want the government getting involved in gaming at all, and they really
Thank
want to.
you.
They see it. They see the potential to
profit.
make big bucks on it. They really do. That's why they want in. They don't care. Jesus loves the little children. That's bullshit. Get out of here with that shit. They don't care about the children. Let me care about my children. All other parents out there do the same. That's
Yeah,
it.
there you go. See, and that's where I am with this because I don't want the government getting into anything. Yeah, I was born into a free country, has freedom of speech, all that good stuff. And anytime you give up your rights, no matter how little, you never gain them back. All right, that is a kind of like
Mm,
a
ho-
rule
ho-
throughout history.
Hold up, Bob. My bad. No, Shady. You're not gambling when you buy a deck of Magic the Gathering cards because you're paying for actual cards. You're paying for the cards. You're getting a physical product. Whatever cards you get there may not be useful in your deck, but you're not paying for the rare card or the chance of a rare card. You're paying for the deck of cards. Period.
Well, I can see kind of like what Shady's saying with that, because when it comes to a Magic deck, it's pretty
no,
much
because
randomized, right?
he's not going to the store, right, and paying for a chance at a good card, and the guy just throws a deck in the air, and the card that lands in front of Shady's foot is his card. No, he's paying for the actual deck of 15 cards. Whatever he gets in there, he gets in there.
I think Shady
card.
brings up. I actually think he brings up a good point. I was a basketball and football card collector growing up, right?
Yep.
I used to spend so much money on packs of cards, and my key thing there was getting rookies and getting what they call insert cards. All right. Now the odds of getting the insert cards are kind of like labeled on the back of the pack, but that didn't stop me from buying 5, 10, 15 packs of cards to try to get that kind of like all-star insert card that was worth money. So that's gambling right there, and I went through it.
But did you? But you bought 15 cards, right? You own 15 cards. If you didn't get what you wanted, that's on you. But you're buying the card. You're not buying the chance at the card you want.
I was buying the chance at the inserts.
That was it. That was on you. That was on you.
But it's the same thing, because in the loot box, hold on, Knox. In the loot boxes, say Overwatch, say you get a spray, you get a medium level skin, and you get a voice or something like that in one of the boxes. You got 3 things to use in the game. You got things like I got cards. You see what I'm saying?
But
it's just not what you wanted.
You're paying for physical cards, dude. You're paying for you own the card. The cards are yours.
And you own
yours.
that digital content. It's the same thing, brother.
No, you rolled for a chance at something in particular that's in there. You're not getting all 15 of what's in there. You're getting a chance at 3 out of those 15. You understand what I'm saying? You don't own all 15.
It's no different. It's no different than when the cards that you buy, you don't know what those cards are.
But you're buying the cards. You own the cards,
brother. If it's physical, hold on. If it's physical or if it's digital, you still own the digital right to whatever is in that loot box. Just the same way you own the physical card out of that pack of cards. It's the same thing.
It's not a slot machine spinning around, dude. It's not something going blah, 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 landing on something.
Well, it kind of is if you think about it, though.
Right.
It kind of is, because you are gambling on the fact of getting an insert or a rookie card.
You're playing a game of chance with everything you buy.
Yeah, exactly. It's a game of chance no matter what. You do get something in return, but you're looking for that premium piece of content, that premium card.
No different than a lottery ticket or a scratch off. Those are physical, and when you scratch off and you get nothing, it's the same.
But that's gambling, though. I mean, that is gambling. Right? You playing for the loot. You don't want to own the card.
But
you know what I'm saying? You're playing for a chance at the loot that's on the card. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, technically, I guess you'll own it. It's yours. You can throw it away, but that's not what you. With a deck of playing card, with a deck of baseball cards, you can keep the cards. You put them in your book. You collect the cards. They're your cards. If you didn't get the Don Mattingly rookie card, you know what I'm saying? Oh well, you didn't get it. But they're not guaranteeing that it's going to be in there. You know what I'm saying?
I know, but you are in turn gambling with that product, though.
Anytime you buy something and it has an odds thing on the back of it, the odds of getting X, Y, and Z is 1 in a million or some shit like that. That's gambling.
It's gambling.
Period.
Yeah,
I don't ever remember that being on deck of baseball cards.
But
I have like fucking.
Oh, dude, you gotta look on the back where you open up.
Say the odds of getting a blank is.
You open up that little flap, that you usually rip to open up the pack. If you just pull up that little flap, they have the odds of all the inserts right there to let you know what the odds are of getting. I remember in my day it was Topps Finest basketball cards, and they had jersey cards that were incredibly rare, dude. That was like $12 a pack for those things, and I was picking them up, man. I was scrounging for money. I was begging my parents. I was doing everything I possibly could just for that chance to get the Kobe Bryant rookie jersey card or to get that Michael Jordan. Man, dude, I swear, I was all about it back then, man. I was gambling, brother. I was gambling. I was.
I guess you can look at it that way, but you know what I'm saying. The bottom line is they need to just remove that aspect of gaming. Period, bro. Just make it
I
straight up.
see. I like that idea of the developers removing that aspect. I do not like the idea of letting the government get in because once you crack that door open, they start making amendments to the bill. They start stretching their power. They start getting their fingers into other places in gaming, and you don't want that to happen. It's like a virus. They will just go in and they will start trying to control absolutely everything. That's why I am not for this bill. Dark
Yep.
Optimus. Dark, you're quiet, man.
Yeah.
Dude, what do you think about this bill? That's that they're trying to pass. What do you think about them trying to take out the randomized loot crates? And do you agree with me that that's kind of like if they do that, they're cracking the door open for the government to get deeper into gaming and to possibly control more things, man.
That's exactly what they're trying to do. I
Ooh.
mean, like they've always been trying to crack into the gaming market to, you know, either make a profit off of it or, to more than likely it's to make a profit off of it. I mean, there's no other way that they're trying to get into gaming. They're just trying to make some money from the gaming industry. That's the bottom line. Um, they just put word certain things a certain way just to make it seem like they have good intentions in putting things, putting these bills out there. But if you look at the underlying, um the small print of everything, it's very, it's not what we want. It's definitely not what we want. And of course, when they do try to do this bill, they're gonna pass this bill, guaranteed. They're gonna pass this bill when something crazy happens in this world, whatever, like when Charlie Sheen went off on his freaking craziness, tiger blood craziness. They passed like 15, 16 bills that no one knew about. No one knew anything about those bills. And those bills that were passed were completely riddled with a bunch of holes and a bunch of craziness, and
Of a
and
controlling nature, or
not in a controlling nature. They just do this um to really just, kind of pass certain things, just to have it, in part of the government. um the whole bill, it seems like what they're trying to do is, it sounds good, like they make it sound like, oh yeah, we're thinking about the kids, like the
they don't give
kids.
a shit about your
They
kids,
don't.
yeah.
They don't care about that. They don't care about that stuff. And it was probably, no offense to these types of people, but it was probably some soccer mom who came around and said, "You know what? My kid's buying all these loot boxes in this game and he's not getting what he wants, and I can't believe this crap. This is gambling. This is outrageous." And the senator was probably like, "You know what? I'm going to take care of this." And you know what? They've been trying to do this for a long time. I mean, go back to, I'm not gonna name names here, but there's a certain family out there that has been trying to bring down the gaming industry for a
Name
long
them.
time.
Uh oh.
And they've been doing it for a long ass time.
Hold
I'm
on,
not.
hold on.
They
Does
start
have
with a C,
somebody
and
named William?
somebody named William, and their last name starts with a C. So I mean, like, it's
Wow.
been going on for a long time with these people, and they've just been wanting to take out, and make profit off of the gaming industry. Because I mean,
I don't even think it's making profit. I think it's
but
control.
they've no, they've been doing it with film for a long time. They have so many rules and regulations in film. It's not even funny, man. There's a lot of stuff that you can and cannot do. Like, yeah, there's things that you can do. That's why there's the rating system. That's why there you got to have permits for certain things like that. I mean, people in the gaming industry, it's kind of a free market in a way. Yeah, there are certain types of regulations, in with certain companies, but right now it's still in that free market, and it's kind of the wild west over there in the gaming industry. um Not so much in film. Film is kind of more regulated, and there's certain things you have to do in order to you know get certain things passed or whatever. um it just boggles my mind that um you know the government's still trying to do this after all these years, just
They are
because
very
it's like
patient, brother.
yeah, you would think by now they would give up, but they just never give up, man. They just never give up. They never quit. They want to keep they want to make it seem like they're trying to keep the children safe, but it's not. That's not the case. They want I can honestly see them trying to do this, right? They're doing this, and they're gonna get into the loot boxes, and then they're gonna move on to something else where they're gonna be like, oh, you know what? Maybe I think there should be a bill about violence in video games, and then they're gonna do
Well,
that.
yeah, I think that's a couple steps above. I think they'll go after stuff like what Predator said about kids being addicted to skins in Fortnite and how
Yeah,
much money, like
exactly.
they're gonna
They'll start out
gradually step up.
they
You know what I'm
yeah, they
saying?
start out small, and then they build upon it, and
Mhm.
it's crazy, man, how much they're really good. If this really does pass, and then they go on, oh man, it's gonna be bad. It's not gonna be good.
At the end of the day, at the
Well,
end of
not
the day,
maybe not bad to the extent of like for kids. Like I don't think it'll be bad because of the fact that it'll regulate a lot of the bullshit, but it'll be bad for a lot of us gamers who love these games, and we won't be able to play them anymore because it'll be government regulated. We'll have to burn every freaking copy of our, whatever game we have because they decided to pass some fucking bullshit bill. Um, it reminds me of that Fahrenheit 451 book.
oh shit.
I don't know if you guys have read it, but it's all about like the government regulating books and literature and basically anything that is out there. um Anything, pretty much all books they regulated, and they have to burn them basically. And if it turns into that, that's gonna be bad.
Oh yeah,
I
that's
don't
bad.
think it will. I don't think it will, but I mean,
That's
that's the worst
1984
case
type
scenario.
stuff right there, brother.
Yeah, but that's the worst case scenario that could happen is them regulating it to that point. And
Yeah.
I don't think that'll happen, but
Well,
you know.
I mean I hope not, but once you roll a snowball down a mountainside, eventually it's gonna build.
That is true.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's gonna build speed, man.
Yeah.
Yo, huge shout out to Skin Eastwood. He was like, I understand that the governments love to get involved with the issue, but to be fair, kids can get big addictions to DLC. Xbox said it earlier. He spent lots of money on cards, and yes, I did. And guess what? If my parents were looking after me a little bit more or whatnot, I wouldn't have spent so much money on that. If my parents had taught me a little bit better about kind of like being a little more responsible with my money and stuff like that, I wouldn't have done it so much either. At the end of the day,
Yeah,
do
but
not.
look at it this way though. But were you happy about the cards that you got? Were you excited about every card deck that you got? Were you,
Not
like,
definitely not everyone. There was like, and I think So Shady said it. He said as long as you're kind of like whatever you get. Then he said he doesn't consider that gambling. I gotta say you're just a really grounded person that you realize you might not get what you want, and you're still happy with what you get. But there's still, even though you're happy with it, there's still a risk there.
It's gambling.
You're still spending the money. You still don't have the money when you're done, and you didn't get what you necessarily wanted, but you're just happy with what's in your hand now. But it's still a risk factor. You got to kind of look at the
but
definition of risk all the way through one,
but
two,
that's
and
the
three.
thing. Even with loot boxes, they even warn you that there's a chance you won't get the items.
Yeah,
They know. They even put it in wording, and a lot of parents, it really comes down to the parents. It really comes down to parents and us as gamers, really too. Um, we have to decide we don't want to buy those
it's
loot
us as
boxes.
parents
We
is the
have to,
main thing because
but
if
but
you
but we
take
also have to read stuff and say to our
brother,
kids or whatever and say, hey, it tells you right here, clear as day, that you may not have a chance of getting what you want out of this loot box. Do you still want
brother,
to
at
do
the
it?
end of the
Uh,
day, it is up to the parents
but
to
you
raise
you
their kids, not the
you you
government, man.
you no,
Right.
absolutely. You're
And
you're
that's
right
what I was
about that.
saying. That's
But
exactly what I'm saying,
also, you got to
which is
think.
basically
Go ahead, bro.
just having the parent read the guidelines to these kids and saying,
Oh,
hey,
kids don't care. Kids are kids. They still want
you know,
whatever. They
no,
automatically think
I
they're gonna
know,
get whatever they want to get.
but you also have to explain it
Does
in a way so that the kid understands, like this is not what you know and you're going to be spending a lot of money, like you have to,
you just
you know,
tell
and
them
then
no?
exactly, and just tell them no. Like, I mean, I don't understand why a lot of parents do that, where they complain about something and then all of a sudden, once it gets regulated, they're like, oh god, I can't believe they did that. Like it's crazy. It's like,
Care-
you started it. Why are you not defending it now?
Oh, look at Pred's gameplay right now. Yeah, there we
It's
go. Is what he was talking about.
it's insane, man. This whole thing is just insane. I don't understand it.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. Knox, did you want to chime in one more time before we move on here?
Yeah, real quick, so we could get off this shit. This topic. I mean,
No, it's
I
all
was gonna
good, bro.
say is that there are some parents that aren't, technically savvy as either, you know what I mean? So they don't even know, even though you're still giving them permission to use your card, you got to be paying attention to shit like that, but, not for nothing. My mom wouldn't know what the fuck to do, what's going on an Xbox or a PlayStation or fucking Nintendo. She still calls the shit, turn the off. That shit's making noise and wasting light type shit. You know what I mean?
Yo,
So
for real.
that's how it was
And
me
look how
growing
we
up.
turned out, brother.
But my mom, I would have said, "Let me get your credit card." She would have died laughing, and walked away for me asking that. So there are shit that they could put in place. There's people that nowadays they'll give the kid their card. Here, get the one thing, not realizing they're putting it on there, adding it, and continuing to purchase shit. Again, that is on them though.
Oh, yo, look at
Exactly.
that
That's
that
exactly on
Nemesis
them.
uh, comment right there. Can we stop acting like it's just kids buying loot boxes? Because it's not. Because it's us
That is
adults
true.
buying that shit
That
too.
is true too.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
And
very true too.
that's kind of what I was trying to say, is like, as us as gamers, we need to stop buying that shit too.
What?
We need
No,
to
no,
stop.
we don't need to stop buying that stuff. But what we need to do is
No,
when
we
somebody
do,
hold on,
dude. We do need to
hold,
stop buying
let,
that shit,
but
because you know why? It
I
it
have a
just it
point
just
here,
creates
brother.
more and more
Dude, if you want to buy,
conflict and
you
shit.
are an adult. If you want to, kind of take your chances on a loot box, you should be able to. If it's there, you should be able to. Now, when it comes down to it, in terms of politicians saying for the children and stuff, that is just a politically correct way to get their idea through. Because if they're like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, we're doing it for the children, who's going to argue that
Fake
and be
news.
like, you know what? Fuck the kids. You know
Fake
what I'm
news.
saying? They're not going to do that. So
Yep.
it's an easy way to get it through. But we
It's
shouldn't get stuff taken away for us. It is up to the parents to say no. It's up for the parents, even if they're not technically savvy. You know what? You're supposed to look into what your kids
I'm
are
saying
into
I'm
and
I'm
stuff
not
like that,
saying
man.
I'm not saying
I'm just saying,
microtransactions. I'm saying loot boxes. We should really stop buying loot boxes, because you know why? We
dude.
know
I
better,
spend silver
and
on
we know
engrams.
how
I spend
we
silver on engrams, brother.
You're part of the problem.
Yes, I am.
exactly. You're part of the problem, bot. Like, why would you spend that much money on silver when you
Because I
already
think it's
know?
fun.
because he wants to get that skin,
Want to
dog.
get that skin,
That
baby? That
unicorn.
exotic
I'm just
skin.
all I'm saying is let him get his silver. Just buy the shit directly. Oh shit, they got us a new skin
Exactly.
for
Let him buy
Thorn.
his shit
Buy it
directly.
direct. Yeah, that's it. Just remove the
Why?
chance aspect. That's all you
Yeah,
got to do.
remove that loot box shit. That loot box shit doesn't need
Well,
to be in video games.
It's not the loot
Doesn't.
box. It's the chance.
No, it's the loot box itself doesn't need to be there, because if you're gonna have loot boxes in your game, you're gonna have a chance. There's always gonna be chance there.
I'm confused at the definition of loot box. To me, a loot box is anything that you can pay for. Like,
no,
if I want to buy a hat.
No,
right?
If you want to buy a hat, that's a microtransaction.
They even specifies
the
randomized loot boxes.
The loot box is completely different. A loot box is basically you have a chance of getting whatever's in that box.
No, but that's the chance. That's a rent. Like
guys, I want to talk about Sony, man. What's going on?
All right, go ahead, go.
Guys,
stop buying fucking
bullshit. Of course.
Yeah, stop buying bullshit.
Beat your kids.
Beat your kids.
Knoxximus Sonymus. Knoxximus Sonymus. As soon as I said I want to talk about Sony, he's like, all right, we're on to the next one now.
It's the reason I do this.
Guys, I want to
address
Mega
something. Did I miss him?
No, you didn't hear Mega say a word.
Yo, dude, I'm used to you chiming in, man. You got anything to say on this before we move on?
All I got to say is that I wouldn't want the government to be involved, even though the government is already involved because they get taxes. Look, it's all to the responsibility of the parent. There's plenty of devices. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? There's plenty of devices on your Xbox and on your PlayStation to where you can get notifications for every purchase that is made, instead of letting your kids command you and tell you what they want and giving them money every time they ask for it. Let them earn it, let them do something else, and let them learn how to let them learn not to get involved into wanting to spend money like that, because what that does is that will affect them down the line when they get older and not know how to manage money. So it all really boils down to the parent, and it boils down to the discipline, and not so much the company, because the company is trying to get your dollar. So they're not at fault of it. And look, I think with all government, not all government things, I was hearing Otter just bash the government like it's the government. Everybody in the government.
You went George Orwell, man.
Right. And really, a lot of things where people make.
I wasn't bashing everybody in the government. I was just saying a certain type of family that does that shit.
Okay, but this is the thing I'm just trying to say on this is that there's people that have good intentions. I think that this Republican that came out there, and I'm a Rachel Maddow person, so you know where I lean. But this Republican had a good. had a good. Had good intentions, because he's seen that it just doesn't. It's not fair for children to get involved into gambling so early. But the problem with that is that we're going to start having gambling with sports. That's already passed in certain states. So, I mean, what about that? Because if you don't think a kid could jump in there and they're a big sports fan and they could jump in there and try to do something online, they could do the same thing with that. So, no, too much regulation, it only leads to problems. And all you have to do is basically just be more aware of your surroundings. And microtransactions, loot boxes may eventually go away.
I think they are too, man.
Microtransactions and DLC will never go away, because if once that goes away, then the prices of your game will go up, and then what that does that cause more serious issues, because we just had the discussion with Anthem, and there was people on the panel that were saying, look, we should do a civil lawsuit. So if you paying $90 for an Anthem type game, because you didn't get no DLC or whatever, that game still comes out like it has, there's going to be a lot of hell to pay. So I just don't want the government to start making laws and regulations. It's just start policing ourselves.
And that's why we have a space for you on the Republican.
Oh my goodness, guys!
Next topic, let's talk about Sony.
It's the Don.
Don ain't gonna touch this. Don ain't gonna touch that.
What is up, Don?
Hey, what's up?
No, not too much, man. Good to see you on the panel, man. It's starting to feel like the full family reunion here. All we need is snaps right now, which I don't think is gonna happen. She is at work. But you usually come in when you want to talk about something. I'm about to go into the Navi.
It's mostly because I got sick and tired of dealing with Discord. and so I decided to come in here and
Oh,
work in
did
Google
they send
Hangouts.
us? Did they send us the link or whatever?
This is the link. I'll get into it. I don't know. Discord is it's organized like a craft store, man.
Dude, I hate the way it's set up, man. To be
It's
really honest
organized
with
like
you,
a craft store.
but
It is.
but
Nothing
you
makes
actually
any sense.
you came in at perfect timing because I know you're like me. You like to kind of get into hardware and stuff like that, and there's been people out there on social media, but not only that, there have been certain YouTubers, and yes, I am gonna say one of their names right now, guys. He is a friend of mine. I haven't talked to him in a while, but I did. I was on his podcast on his channel, and it is Foxy Games UK. And what we're talking about here is the Navi GPU architecture. Now, if you talk to some I don't want to say Sony fans, man, and I hate saying Sony extremists. I hate saying ponies, but those really kind of like I guess I gotta say extremists. You talk to them about hardware, you might come across this thing where they're like, yeah, well, the the Navi GPU architecture actually was created for the PS5, and that's it. So the next Xbox, when it comes to the GPU, can't actually use the Navi architecture because it's only going to be in the PlayStation 5. Now, at first, I didn't think this was a topic. I thought this was kind of ridiculous that people would know better, but this is actually catching steam. I cannot believe this. Don, since you're here, man, would you like to chime on this first? Yo, is there a chance that the Navi GPU architecture is only going to be in the PlayStation 5 and AMD is not gonna use it anywhere else? PC, mobile, nothing, none of that. It's only for the PS5.
Yeah, that makes no sense. Even the cell architecture was available to their competitor to some degree.
And that was in-house, right?
Yeah, well, see, yeah, so there was a partnership, I believe, with Intel, if I remember correctly, that they had there, and obviously, it didn't pan out for everyone that was involved in it, but there's some similarities with the old Xbox 360 CPU comparison to the cell. I mean, it was a lot more simplified, but there's a lot of similarities. So here's the thing: there might be elements of Navi that may be exclusive to Sony, some small elements. But I don't think those things are going to convert over to the PC side of things if those particular small elements, are available to only Sony. And then same thing the other way around. I mean, it's just, here's the thing: there's certain things that Microsoft owns as far as technology goes, and
well, and there's going to be
Sony doesn't
certain
have
things.
access to.
Well, Don, there's going to be certain things in the Anaconda and Lockhart's GPU that are done, as customized that are only going to be in the Lockhart and the Anaconda. So, but that I'm not going to go out running around and be like, well, you know what? Navi's only made for the Anaconda or the Lockhart. Dude,
I would say 80% of it's going to be available to all competitors, except for like obviously NVIDIA or Intel, right? AMD will allow everyone to be involved with that technology. It's just how that works.
Yo, Face23 Brooklyn says that Navi is exclusive to PS5. Well, Navi will come to PC as well, just not Microsoft with the Xbox. Dude, you better check that because that is dead wrong.
Yeah, I wouldn't take that stance. It's just not a very.
That's dead wrong.
I mean, look, fellas, real quick. I saw Foxy's video. I follow him. I enjoy his content.
Dude, me
right?
too, man. He's a cool guy.
No. I'm just saying. He never said that it was going to be. He said possibly there could be some sort of deal in place, kind of like what the Don is saying. Like just a little extra work that they've done specifically for the chip that's going into the PS5. It's going to be available for other people to use. It's not going to be exclusive to Sony.
But dude, that's what they do to consoles every time a console is made for whatever company.
Yeah, I mean, well, I'm just saying he made that clear. So if other people
should know
going
better.
around
No,
saying,
he should know better. He did not make that clear. He made it sound like a common thing.
He said a possibility. He said the possibility of some sort of exclusivity thing.
People misspeak, man, and I mean that's just kind of. I think that's human nature. I mean, we all try our best, but I think there's a different. Do you think the intent was just straight up? No, this is what it is, or do you think you just misspoke?
Who are you talking to, me or not?
I mean, both of you guys, because you guys both watched it.
Well, like I said, I know him, and I feel like when it comes down to it, his audience is a lot of PlayStation fans. So this would be something that if he kept it kind of vague and didn't state what the routine is when new hardware is made with these companies, and he kept it vague, didn't really put that information in there, he would get his fan base excited. That's exactly what I think was going on.
So you think there's an unspoken intention there?
I definitely do, definitely. And like I said, I'm cool with the guy, but man, I am gonna be honest, with the subscribers of this channel, the gaming community, and stuff like that. I gotta say, this is complete BS, man. Complete BS.
I won't just be honest with you. There's parts of Navi in the PlayStation 4 Pro and Xbox One X.
Yeah, that's weird. It can't happen.
Yeah. So I mean, that kind of bursts that bubble right there. Here's the thing: is Navi's not ready for prime time yet. It's going to be ready later this year. In regards to that, and we're all gonna be informed, I would say, at E3. I think the cat's gonna be let out of the bag of what's really going on there with platform providers, and the competition is going to be on really quick here. Everyone's going to try to burst each other's bubbles, if you know what I mean, from competitor to competitor. But as I said before, like, I've gotten a sneak peek of what these consoles are going to be able to do behind the scenes, from a technical demonstration from the engine I work in. And to be honest with you, if people are arguing over graphics going forward, I'm just not going to pay attention to them, because like, you guys are going to have everything you probably want going forward. Graphics are not going to be an issue. Our games are going to look beautiful on the next hardware. So
I got you, brother. Yo, Mega, you want to chime in on this, man? We have Ps5, Brooklyn, New York, in the chat, and like I said, he is here every Saturday. Huge shout out to him. We love the support. Thank you, brother. He said that he's seen a lot of sources in media stating Sony and AMD were creating Navi together. Now, it could have been that they were creating the chipset for the PlayStation together, but when it comes to a general GPU architecture, it does not make sense that AMD will not use a newer GPU architecture in just about anything they can get into, whether it's PC, whether it's PlayStation, Xbox, or whatnot. And how do you think that the rumors of the Anaconda being more powerful than the PlayStation, people, insiders, and stuff like that have come out and stated that, you know what, Anaconda's got this. How do you think Anaconda has this if they don't have the latest architecture when it comes to the GPU? But, Mega, what do you think, bro?
All right. There was an article. This was, how I feel about all that lingo, jingo stuff about what people talk about. But there was an article.
Put it the K Mega way, brother.
I know. But there was an article that I read last night and was getting ready for the show for GRG last night, and I thought we were going to get in more depth about that topic, but we didn't. And it was from videogameschronicles.com. It really was a fantastic read. One of the best articles I read in a very long time. Just not trying to be biased, just talking about what the potentials of what has been leaked so far. And what they picked up was from some place called Genix. It's a European site, genixvideo.com sources. And this is what they say. They said,
where'd he go? Can you hear him?
You start talking about PS5, and then like, this is out of K Mega's character.
Yoshida cut his mic. Oh, Knox muted. No, he's like, no, you're not.
You mean the
I don't know
Don character that he has?
I don't know how the hell I did that, bro. What the hell did I just do there?
Knox,
did you really mute him?
Yeah, it said it because of Knox muted K Mega.
No, I didn't mean to do that shit. How do I do it?
I don't know.
I think you have to click on his
icon.
little icon.
I am. It's not.
You click on the little down arrow that's on his icon, and he's supposed to, or he can unmute.
You have to do it.
No, he can unmute himself.
There you go.
Yo, Mega, Knox got you, brother.
All right.
I know Knox is feral, man.
I mean, you would expect that kind of shit from me, but not from Knox.
That was my accident, bro.
I know. Okay, so What part did y'all hear that I said?
You were
We heard
about
all
to
of it.
go
You're
into
done.
that. You're like, this is what they said, and then
Okay, all right. This
Fred.
what it said. All right, it said the ball. Excuse me. The ballpark potential of the Scarlet Xbox Two is best gauged by looking at the Anaconda technical specifications from this website source, jinxvideo.com sources, has come closest to hitting it on the head. The AMD base chipset has a custom 8-core 16-thread Zen 2 CPU, custom Navi 12 T-flops GPU, 16 gigabytes of GDDR RAM 6,
Yeah.
or R6, whatever that's just called, and 1 T-byte SSD running at 1 gigabytes. Then also they talk about the Lockhart, and they said the Lockhart is arguably the most interesting of the two, designed to appeal to the most cost conscious players who want a taste of the next generation, but is at one of things at a slightly lower cost. And this says the GPU. The CPU is the same custom 8-core 16-thread Zen 2 and shares the same 1 terabyte NVMe SSD. The GPU, however, is a custom AMD Navi 4 teraflops with 12 gigabytes GDDR6
Oh, I
RAM.
remember that specs list, man.
This was just brought out yesterday, and it goes way in depth. It goes way in depth. It talks about the blueprint of where Xbox started with this plan back before 2012 and how things changed, and then and how they're sticking with it and just going in full depth. I'll put the link on Twitter and in the description in our DMs if y'all haven't read this. But it's the site is videogamechronicles.com, and I really enjoyed it. So regardless, so hearing that there's no Navi and all this other stuff, look, there Phil Spencer, Killer Phil himself said they will never be behind in power ever. So I have no idea why people keep alluding that the PlayStation is going to be anywhere comparable to what the Scarlet's going to be. Will it be more popular? Will it be more powerful than the X? Absolutely. Will it be more powerful than the Lockhart? Absolutely. But when it comes to the Scarlet, to the Xbox Two, whatever the hell that they're going to call it, it's not going to be. It's not going to be there. It's not. And then when you also hear the rumors that PlayStation is going to give out, is going to have all this technology and it's going to be 10 times more powerful than the X. And then they're going to bring a price tag of $399 and they're going to have this Navi involved in it, and Xbox is not going to do it. That shit sounds like a bunch of bullshit to me. So again, I think people just need to relax. The PlayStation is going to be awesome. The PS5 is going to be awesome. It's going to be way more powerful. And the Scarlet is going to just be more powerful than that. And then it's just going to be coming down to the main point where it should have been at the beginning of this generation, and that's about the games.
Brother, yeah, you know what's funny about that? Right now, because the X is out and it's the most powerful console, people are talking about games. The last couple of years, there are a lot of people, and I can see, what they're saying if they're not happy with the last couple of years with Xbox. But power wasn't a thing until we started getting information and leaks about the new hardware. Now all of a sudden it's back to power, unless the PlayStation 5 is only number 2 in the power aspect. Then it's about, well, look at all the games that they created. All they have to do is sequels for the next series of hardware, and they're on top and stuff like that. So it seems that it's only about power when the crown is on Sony's head. You know what I'm saying? So people do care about power out there. Of course, I know people like to talk a lot of shit on Twitter and go back and forth with people. But at the end of the day, if you're talking about, well, there are articles and sources stating that Sony is working with AMD to create the Navi architecture. What about all the other articles and information and insiders that are stating that Navi is also being used in the Xbox? You can't just look at one and ignore the other. That makes no sense. I don't know. Yo, Predator, what do you think, brother?
I forgot what we're talking about. Hold on.
Navi only being the GPU, and I know you probably you don't like to get into the technical side, so but what do you think about people trying to state that the Navi GPU is only being used in the PlayStation 5 and I'm sorry, Face 23, also the PC, but won't be used in the Xbox, even though insiders are stating the Anaconda is going to be the most
Fake
powerful
news.
console. Fake news.
Look at it this way. All right. I want everybody to go look up the specs for the Xbox. And there's a little blurb in there. It says custom Jaguar, right?
Yeah.
So, like,
It's
that's
so
basically
it's so
what,
custom. It's not even a Jaguar anymore, to be honest with
yeah.
you.
But the fact of the matter is, like, even if Sony's working on the Navi thing, it's just going to be a custom chip for their skill set, what they're trying to do with their console, and Microsoft will do the exact same thing.
Mm-hmm.
They'll come out with something custom for their consoles, and that's what the whole secret sauce working is. It's to optimize the potential of their system. Period.
Yeah.
That's it, and that's the end of it. Like there's no you know um, exclusivity with the Navi chip with PlayStation. This is not going to happen. They might have certain aspects of the chip working with certain components in their system that's going to make it, more optimized, but that's the extent of it all. Um, and I'm going to touch on something you kind of mentioned too, like, the power narrative. You do notice, like, in at least I've noticed this. Like, I don't see those digital foundry videos anymore. Like, I don't really see those comparisons anymore since the X came out. Like in the
You know
beginning when the
what?
X did,
You're right.
in the beginning when the X came out, like they were doing it, but you don't really see them that much anymore. Like they're not like up in the forefront like they were in the past. You know what I'm saying?
No, they'll
Like
just like sneak release it real quick and
yeah,
it's no
every
big
time
deal.
a multi-plat would come out, like, earlier in the generation when Sony had the power advantage, it was all, they come out and they discuss it and they give the edge over to the PlayStation side, and and then, once the X came out, it was an Xbox One X versus Xbox One S comparison. It wasn't like a head to head anymore. And
Or
now,
PC.
or
They
PC, and we'd
compare the
always do the
X to the
PCs, yeah.
PC all the
Right.
time. Yeah.
But now you don't see that anymore. Like, I mean, and like maybe when Rage comes out, that'll be the next one they do because it's a multi-plat game. But like, when they do it, like it used to be like it'd be like right on front page. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't even see that shit anymore.
Yeah, no. And the funny thing is, when you do see a comparison between PS4 and Xbox, and this is something I was stating at the beginning of the generation, because they like Digital Foundry was making a big deal out of resolution, and I was always like, well, between 900 and 1080, you really can't see a difference. And it's funny now because when they compare the Pro to the Xbox One X, they will say, the Pro there is blurring here. It's not as clear here, but overall, it still looks great on the Pro. And they never said that before all this. When it was Xbox that didn't have the power advantage, they would go in on blades of grass on this pixel over to the right and stuff like that. They don't necessarily do that anymore. It still looks good, even though it's not the most powerful console. Is what they've come to say now.
The weird thing is both those statements are true, right? It just depends on the individual what they notice. When you look at television manufacturers, they look at certain blocks where they can get the whole general public to notice, right? So, they figure 720 from 720 from 1080. That's very noticeable. That's why that jump exists, right? But you notice 2K doesn't really exist in the television market because really the most noticeable jump you can really make at that point for the general audience is 4K. And you're not seeing 6K, you're seeing 8K after that, right?
Yeah.
So those are kind of the jumps for like the general audience for people to pick up on. And some people don't. And that's the thing, is that's where we're at graphically. When you talk about resolutions, don't let someone tell you what resolution you can or can't see. That's up for you to decide when you look at an image.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that was like kind of the driving force that I had back in the early argument, and I still think that's kind of the case now, as well. Is going forward when you're going to be looking at these machines, and people will try to make news out of nothing pretty much going forward. You guys are going to have to just look at it and see if you notice it. Simple as that. And if you notice it, then who's to tell you if you can't see that or not? You see it. You see it. That's and enjoy yourself. Like that's I mean, I'm excited for what you guys are going to be able to play and what you guys going to get on a regular basis going forward.
I think people are downplaying the next series of hardware. I think we're going to be seeing a bigger difference than what like some people on Twitter, and I'm not talking insiders and stuff like that, but there's some people kind of like holding back kind of like their expectations and like, well, we're gonna see, a little jump, but it's not gonna be like a
Well,
generational. But I think it's gonna be real good.
it's not going to be generational. That's actually truthful, to be honest with you. It's not like generational, like in the sense of what we've previously already experienced, because you have to go exponentially quite a bit in power to get a noticeable difference. Really, about twice the power of the X across the board on every single spec. If I was just going to be brutally honest with you, some people are going to leverage that power better than others, but I don't think it's going to be noticeable for everybody. Some people turn on race tracing, they turn it on and off, and they can't see the difference, right? Other people can see it. So it's we're in a weird subjective area where some people pick up on the stuff and the other people don't, and it'll get better. But it's only for the people that have a keen eye or notice those sort of details.
Okay, I got you, brother. Who else hasn't chimed in on this yet? Otherwise we can move on, and
I
I
haven't.
can fill out on my title. So, yo,
I have not.
Dark, I don't know how much you're into tech or not. So I don't know like how deep you're gonna go into this
Oh, I
topic.
love tech, dude.
All right, so you've been looking in, you've been like trying to like research what's going on with AMD and all that good stuff, or because I like to do that. You heard me. I was listening to Red Gaming Tech before the show started. That's just one of the things I do. I try to listen. I try to pull what is fact and what people are saying for like clicks and views, and trying to separate all those things. But what do you think about people out there trying to state that Navi will not be in the Xbox? Sony helped create the architecture. Therefore, the PlayStation 5 will be the only console that is using this type of technology.
The funny thing is why is it that people are saying um only Sony and PC? It's funny because like the last time I checked, who runs that PC market?
Microsoft.
Microsoft, right? Yeah, I
Yeah.
was waiting for somebody to answer. Thank God you
Dude, I got
answered.
your back, brother. I got your back.
Who runs that market? Microsoft, right? So why wouldn't Microsoft have a way to put that in the Xbox? You know,
Yeah.
like come
The,
on, people,
the thing
like
is,
come on, that
the-
is so
is
stupid
that the
for you
thing
to
is, Dark.
think that Sony is the only one and PC is the only one who's gonna have Navi architecture.
I
Like,
don't I don't know who
come
said
on.
that. I don't know who
Like
bot
it's
score
not
that
gonna
said that. But
it's not gonna be a full on Navi, the full version of Navi architecture in the Xbox. Probably not. It's probably gonna be partially. Like they're gonna have a customized version of it. There's always, as you know, each console has a customized version of certain AMD products. That's always been that case. It's
Yes.
always been like that, hands down, from generation to generation. It's always been like that. So it's like yeah, of course, with PlayStation, it's gonna be different. Of course, it's gonna be different.
Mm.
But Xbox is also gonna have something that is very similar, if not maybe even better. Who knows? We don't know yet because we haven't seen the consoles yet. And I know a lot of people are like, "Oh well, PlayStation's gonna ruin Xbox next generation." We don't know that. We do not know that. Like, yeah, maybe in the console market and in a console sense, yes, maybe PlayStation 5 will be better in terms of games being only for that console. But we got to look at Microsoft and what they're doing and where they're going, their direction. They're looking at like building upon, going beyond their console and really trying to bring it to a market where there's casuals where the casuals are.
Mm.
So it's very uh you know tech savvy, like where they're going, and PlayStation's kind of staying more in a traditional sense. And it's not, it has nothing to do with
Well, no, they're working on
them being
revamping PlayStation now. They've already
right.
hired a bunch of
They're
people.
revamping it. Well, they're trying, they're trying to make uh PlayStation Now into this whole other um beast that we don't even know what's going to happen with PlayStation Now
They
yet.
hired a lot of people who are experts in streaming, is what I'm
Right,
saying, brother. So,
right,
like, to go to
exactly.
multiple
So it's
devices
gonna
will be a
be
goal.
it's gonna be an interesting generation. It's not gonna be just PlayStation and Xbox anymore. It's just not. I'm sorry. I hate to tell you that. I hate to say it to you that this is gonna be this traditional. A lot of people are gonna either begin being able to play their games on a mobile device or on a PC or wherever they want to play their games. That's where it's going. It
Yeah.
may not seem like that and you may not want that, but hands down, that's where it's going to go.
It'll get there.
And
The only thing we dictate as a consumer is the speed to which it gets there. Let's be real.
right, exactly. And the speed it's getting there, it might get there quicker than what we think, but
Mhm.
then at the same time it might not. We just don't know, because technology is always changing. It's forever changing. I mean, when was the last time you heard people talking about TVs? TVs have what, they're 4K right now, right?
Mhm.
Like most majority of people have 4K TVs right now. But guess what's in the market right now? 8K. 8K is a huge thing right now.
Well,
It's
very,
expensive
very,
as fuck.
yeah,
It's
yeah, very
expensive as
limited.
fuck.
It's the same.
But
But any advancement
that's
is
the
like
thing
that.
with
It's a
that.
lot of money, man.
Right, but with the thing of that, those TVs will go down. People will start buying them, things like that. Technology is completely changing. And it's always, and it will forever be changing, and there will always be something new on the market, no matter what it is. The only thing I think that really hasn't changed is really the cell phone market. The cell phone market has uh, kind of hit this plateau in a way. Especially, I hate to say it, because
So,
I am more of a fanboy of Apple, but Apple has plateaued very much so.
just to be
In
clear, cell phone sales are down for the last 3 years.
Right, exactly, because
So
people aren't buying cell phones as much as they used to, because they're happy, they're content with the phone that they have right now,
Yeah.
because it can do everything that they want it to do.
Mhm.
So that's why it's plateaued a lot.
Well, yo, guys, I want to give Christopher Hart a huge shout out, brother. Yo, no matter what it is, I can tell you are a dedicated fan. I hope you're subscribed to this channel, and I hope if people out there talk shit about Xbox 448, I hope you can go in and defend me the way you do. That is anything Sony, man. I hope I'm one of your favorite YouTubers, brother. I really do, because, dude, you will go to the ends of the earth, man. I'm just saying, yo, huge shout out, dude. It makes me happy to see you here every week, brother. It really does. Anybody
And
else? Well, what's up? What's up?
before we move on,
Well, we're gonna
um,
get plugs
we
in,
we
brother.
we gotta realize that, like, both consoles are gonna be pretty legitimate and very powerful. So,
Mm-hmm.
you know, either way you go, you're not gonna be upset about it. You're gonna be happy.
Nice, nice. Yeah.
Well, yo, hold up, but real quick before you do that, man. We got 5 minutes. This is gonna be quick. I'm just I'm just saying, well, homeboy was said in his video, he pretty much was just putting the question out there, since Sony is, contributing to this, right? They're pretty much funding this arc. They put a lot into it. I'm not saying they're funding it all the way. Is it a possibility for Sony to try to get some sort of exclusivity shit going on for Navi? Will that happen? I seriously doubt that. But that's what he said.
He's
If
brought
people
it up
took it,
in multiple videos,
I,
brother.
I know, but if people taking it and running with it, like Sony's got Navi exclusivity, that's wrong. I don't think that's what he meant. That's not what I took from it when I saw the one video. I only saw the one video he put out
Yeah.
regarding that. And that's what I took away from it. Is it a possibility? I actually was like, oh shit, imagine that. Sony will do that. Sony will play hardball like that. So,
Well, but see, the thing is, yo,
but
brother,
with something like that, no, I don't think AMD is just
Knox.
going to accept that.
Yeah, no, Knox. When you look at it, AMD showed their roadmap when it came to GPU architecture, right? And at the end, when I saw it, it was 3 steps, and the third step was leading up to Navi. So it's no matter like what type of money they put into it, they might get a
Yeah, but
kind of.
they're talking about the SOC though. We know that the regular GPU certainly that shit is going to PC. It's
Yeah,
going
but see, guess what? Did he say that though? No, he didn't. He said Navi.
No,
That's
he
all
said
he said.
he said the system on chip. Yes, he did say it. If I recall, he said.
All right,
I watched it a while ago,
brother. You got
but
some homework to do over
I'm gonna
this
check
week,
it out.
man.
Yo,
You got to check out more videos when you.
Just to clear up, when you're saying Navi, you're saying the architecture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
but he said, but he said the the Navi system on chip. If I recall,
But
I will
then
check
he doesn't know what he's talking about. Then though.
All right. Well,
But you know what I'm saying. Either way, and like I said, I like the dude. I'm not trying to bash him or anything like that. It's just when you have so many subscribers, unless you're careful with what you say and you really explain yourself, you're gonna get so many of those people running out there to social media, throwing it all out there and everything like that. Like
But a lot of those YouTubers also don't do a lot of their homework either. I'm just saying there are a lot of them out
really
there
say
who
that
don't.
about Foxy. I know.
I'm not saying he is. I'm just saying that there are a lot of them out there that don't.
This shit just kicked me off, and my computer's wild, and it's muting dudes. It's kicking me off the shit.
Yo, Mega, he's blaming the computer. The computer muted you, brother.
Yeah. I didn't even know that was a thing, bro. I didn't even know you could do that. Like now, I know you could do that.
Oh no. Yo,
shit.
watch out, Dark.
That's a dangerous game he's gonna play.
I want a special episode where Knox runs all the stuff in the background and just see what happens.
Nah, man, we won't have a show then.
Hopefully I'm not there that day.
Yeah, we won't have a show.
It won't be a show, but it will be a show. You know.
Yes, I can agree to that.
All right, guys, I am typing up the poll right now that will go live, guys. If it's your first time to Next Podcast, all the gameplay that you have been watching, if you see in the upper right hand corner, whoever's gameplay is running, their name will be up there. I hope you guys enjoy the show, listening to it, but watching it as well. I feel like it's an extra added experience if you check it out in terms of what games we're playing, the gameplay that's out there. You will be able to vote for who had the best gameplay on my Twitter channel. It's at Xbot448. You go over there. It's going to be pinned to the top. I'm typing it out right now. Guys, this is the end of the show. So, like a 40-year-old with a comb over, we got to get those plugs in. And tonight we are going with Knoxximus. Dark, why don't you let people know where they can go to talk games with you and what your plans are, gaming-wise, podcast-wise, stuff like that throughout the week, man.
Yeah, you guys can find me on Twitter at Knoxximus. You can also find me on Xbox Live and PlayStation at the same name. And you guys can find me here every Saturday, just shooting the shit with you guys.
Nice, brother. Next but not least, he chimed in late. He came in. It was the perfect time, in terms of talking about GPU architecture, everything like that. It's good to have the Don back on the panel. Yo, brother, why don't you let people know what you're up to and where people can go to talk games with you?
The best thing to do is just follow me on Twitter, which is Don_KTR. My gamer tag, all sorts of stuff is on there. If I'm randomly decided to click on a link and show up on a show such as Next, usually you'll find a link there as well. And I think I'm doing the same thing you are doing after the show there, Bot. As soon as we're able to navigate Discord, which is...
Are you streaming it, though?
I'm probably going to stream it on Mixer.
Nice, brother. I think I will be streaming it on YouTube. We are going to be all over the place, brother.
There's no cross streaming tonight, but yeah. Anyways, we're going to be streaming Sea of Thieves with Mooch and Crap, both me and Nextbot. So
what kind of a crew is that? Me, the Don, Mooch, and Crap. How much treasure do you think we're going to get tonight?
I'm scared, man.
I don't know. I mean,
doing
those two never
screaming
set
together.
sail on the Republican before, so we'll see what happens.
Oh my goodness. Well, brother, like I said, it's always good to have you on. You know, the door is always open. The same way with Dark. When Dark didn't know if he was going to be on every week or whatnot, it's how we do here at Next Podcast. We are a podcast family. And speaking of family, my brother Knoxximus, what is going on? Let people know where they can go to talk games with you and what shows you're going to be on for this coming week, man.
Yeah. Are you guys gonna be sipping on some Glenlivet when y'all play that Sea of Thieves?
Dude, I don't drink and play, man. I don't do it.
That's the only way to play. Nah, man, but yeah, man, you know, like always, bro, it was an awesome show. You know, I love being here, love doing this shit. You can find me on right here on YouTube in Knox We Trust. That's coming back soon, man. I just want to do it right. I keep saying that. Saturdays, the next podcast right here, you know, getting it in. On Wednesdays, Xbox Nation. Knoximus One on Xbox Live and PlayStation Network. And at DKnox on Twitter. You already.
Nice, brother. And I am pinning this to the profile page right now. Guys, the poll is up. Feel free to go and vote. Oh, shut up, Don.
Don't say that
Yeah.
out loud, man. Weird.
Guys, huge shout out to Ricardo Willis hitting up that super chat, showing
Don's
some
mind
love
is so dirty, man.
and support for the show. Basically saying we had a great show. And you know, Ricardo, I 100% agree with you. On that note, K Mega, why don't you let people know what you're up to and where they can go to talk games with you, my brother?
Man, you can come to my channel, K Mega 405. Check it out. We do the GRG podcast every Friday night after Crossfire, if you're familiar with that. It is starts at 8:30 Central, 9:30 Eastern, 6:30 Pacific. Also tonight, while the fellas out there will be doing anything with Sea of Thieves, we will be having fight night. We will be on. We'll be playing in MK11 streaming, so it's going to be fun. So Shady's going to be there. Bam, Def Bam Jam. I always say his name all wild as shit. It's
Def Jam Bam.
Def Jam Bam. Yeah. Anyway,
Yo, you call him King Soundbar, man. That's his name.
Yeah, King Soundbar at 100, and then whoever else is going to come in there. A couple people said they will come in, and we're gonna have a good time. Talk a little trash, drink, do our thing while we game, man. So yeah, come and check us out. We'll be on Mixer too, and man, we want to do that King of the Hill. Time to see what these skills are like tonight.
Sounds like it's gonna get a little tinky winky in there.
Oh, yo, he was just waiting for that the entire time, man.
I know he's making his list like, man, that's a lot of dick in there.
Oh no!
Oh, Pred.
Oh goodness, yo, Predator killing it tonight, man.
Man, that dude's over there. Come in that party with that energy.
Yeah, I know, right?
Show us
Come in that party.
a lot of dick over there tonight.
So what happened going on there? Right.
Yo, Pred, it's
Came
too
in,
early,
it's like
man.
come in there with some
Dude.
cap lips.
Dude, you didn't get your plugs in, Pred. You got to wait till afterwards. But yo, Predator, why don't you let people know where they can go to talk games with you? Like I said, I know you get called on a lot for podcasts throughout the community. Do you know if you're gonna make any guest appearances as of yet, man?
Don't know. I might be on Breakfast with Boom here pretty soon. Obviously, you know, the local spots here, of course. Never know. I might show up on Xbox Nation. I might show up on Crossfire. Just have to watch and see. Follow me on Twitter, Predator Space H2OS. Pretty much everywhere, and including MySpace and AOL.
He brought AOL into it now too. Oh my goodness, man. Guys, you can just search him on Netscape, by the way.
Netscape.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yo, guys, on that note,
Oh,
another Saturday in the books. I feel it was another fire episode of Next Podcast. Guys, if you agree with me, smack that thumbs up button. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, definitely subscribe. Yo, huge shout out to everybody who hit up the super chat. Thank you guys for all the support. Everybody who came to hear us bullshit and talk about gaming topics for 2 hours. You guys are awesome. I'm gonna end the show the way I do it. Every Saturday. We will check you out next Saturday for the next podcast. Damn. Damn. Yo, that's not me, people. Yo, we will check you out next Saturday for the next podcast. Have a great weekend, everybody.
We need to do that outro noise every time now.
that was Fred's call sign right there.
Yeah.